Hi, my name is Rayleigh. This week I decided to do the biography talk for the reading assignment, and I decided to do that biography on Charlotte Perkins Gilman, who wrote The Yellow Wallpaper. Charlotte was born January 3rd, 1860. Her father came from the Beecher bloodline, Beecher as in Harriet Beecher Stowe. She was a famous writer, Catherine Beecher, an advocate for women's education, and then Isabella Beecher Hooker, who was an equal rights suffrage movement advocate. And so we see this very long line of very powerful women, and that makes sense to where Charlotte's life eventually ends up. That being said, we have Charlotte here, born July 3rd, 1860. She got married, had a child, and from this child she was diagnosed with postpartum depression. At the time it wasn't seen as that, it was seen as insanity basically. And so what doctors would do is that they prescribe what is called the rest cure, and this was perfected by Dr. Mitchell, so that women would lay down, rest, and absolutely not write, be a part of any movement, any recognition of the ability to write. And this was something Charlotte's husband believed religiously as well, and this eventually caused their separation, which was super uncommon at the time. But they did separate after this postpartum depression spout and the inability to write. This ties back to the story that she had written, because the woman in the story is belittled and her husband gets angry if she writes at all. So this is a comparison between the two stories. She also, the character in the story, she also has postpartum depression and is being treated with the rest cure that she had received in her life. After she had written this story, she had hoped that Dr. Mitchell would respond, but he never did respond. He actually did just change the way that he does the rest cure because of how this story activated the world about postpartum depression and how women are being treated. Out of this, she had married her cousin later in life and was a strong writer, advocate for women's rights, and very different for the time. It wasn't very common for women to move out on their own. It wasn't very common for women to not live with their children, which is what happens in the story. And also in real life, she sends the child back to her husband to live with him. All of these things have happened to her and in the story. And then in 1934, she's diagnosed with terminal breast cancer and decided to give herself a lethal dose of chloroform because she did not want to live with the cancer and believed in euthanasia. She was a very strong women's rights advocate, as in her bloodline, until the end of her days. That is what she believed in and fought for. And that is all. I will attach the bibliography in the comments. Thanks.